Did you know that by the year 2050 there could be more plastic in the oceans than fish? Do you know that you can help change that? Hey, hello and welcome. Today we are going to talk about something that you can really make a difference with. How we can live a zero-waste life, save money, and contribute to a better future. In just a few minutes, I will share the tools you need to contribute to a better future and start your journey towards producing less waste and a more sustainable environment. So what is the problem with waste? An average person produces about 2 kilograms of trash every day. That means we throw away more than 700 kilograms each year. Imagine a mountain of waste that just keeps growing and growing. What happens to all of this? Yes, much of this ends up in our oceans, in our forests, and eventually in our bodies. We see how plastic accumulates in the seas, in our beaches, and how wildlife is affected. Animals confuse plastic with food, and it leads to their death, and that microplast ends up in their bodies, and eventually in our bodies. Let's talk about microplast. They are small particles that are formed when larger plastic items break down. They are so small that they infiltrate the water supply, our food, and we have started to find them in the human body. But it's not just plastic. Waste in general affects our impact. Waste significantly impacts our planet, from electronic waste that contains hazardous chemicals to the excessive use of packaging that is only used once and then discarded. So what is the zero waste lifestyle? Zero waste is about minimizing the waste we produce to the absolute necessary. It may sound difficult, but there are simple solutions and easy changes we can make today that will have a big impact on the environment. The zero waste movement is based on 5 fundamental principles known as the 5 R's: refuse, reduce, reuse, recycle, and root. Refuse means to say no to things that create waste. For example, say no to the plastic bag when you shop. Reduce is about decreasing the amount of things we buy. We don't need to buy new things all the time. Reuse means to use items again instead of throwing them away. Do you have an old glass jar? Use it for storage instead of buying new plastic containers. Recycle is of course essential. Recycle what you cannot reuse. And finally, root. Compost what is compostable, such as food scraps, garden waste, and other organic materials. Small changes that make a big difference. Sure, we need to make large changes, but let's start small. What can you replace today? Here are some simple examples that I personally use. Plastic bags. Replace them with reusable fabric shopping bags like I do. How easy is that? Many of us still use plastic bags when we shop, but there are fabric bags that can be used over and over again. One tip is to always have a foldable fabric bag in your bag or car, so that you always have one on hand. Single-use bottles. Switch to a bottle made of stainless steel. Plastic water bottles are used once and then thrown away. But if you invest in a metal bottle instead, you can use it day after day, and it keeps water cold longer. The same goes for coffee mugs. Get a reusable mug that you can take with you to your favorite cafe. So plastic straws are replaced with metal straws or glass straws. This is a small change, but straws are a major source of unnecessary waste. One tip is to have a small case for your metal straw, so that you can take it with you everywhere. Soap. Replace packaged soaps with solid soap. Liquid soap often comes in plastic packaging, while solid soaps can last longer and may come without any packaging at all. Disposable razors. Switch to a metal safety razor. Most disposable razors are thrown away after a few uses, but a safety razor made of metal can last for 10 years, and you only need to replace the blades. These are the ones I use. These are the tips I can give you now. But food is one of the biggest sources of waste. However, there are simple ways to reduce waste and at the same time save money. One of the most important changes you can make is to shop smart, shop in bulk, and use reusable jars and bags, such as when you go to the store. This way, you avoid packaging that you just throw away as soon as you get home. Another important thing is meal planning. If you plan your meals in advance, you can buy exactly what you need and avoid throwing away food. Also, consider that composting is a way to easily handle waste that is left over. Composting is a simple method to transform food scraps into nutrient-rich soil that can be used in the garden. Zero waste at home. Zero waste at home. Let's take a look at how you can be more zero waste throughout your home. We take one room at a time. In the kitchen, you can start by using glass containers instead of plastic. Glass is sustainable and can be reused over and over again. Also, stop using plastic wrap. Instead, you can use beeswax wraps that work in the same way but are reusable, for example. Let's move to the bathroom. There are many small changes you can make, such as switching to solid shampoo bars and soaps. Use a bamboo toothbrush instead of plastic, and make sure that the toilet paper you buy comes from sustainable sources. It is also possible to find toothpaste in tablet form that you can chew and then brush with, no plastic tube. The home office can also become more sustainable. Stop writing unnecessarily. Use reusable pens and reusable paper. Make sure that electronics you no longer use are disposed of properly. To live with less. Zero waste is not just about reducing waste, but also about decreasing the need to buy new things. Living with fewer, yet more meaningful things in your life. Consume less and consider whether you really need what you're thinking about. A good rule is that if you are going to borrow something or buy something used, then do it. Why does this matter? What we do now affects not only us, but also future generations. Think about your children or grandchildren. Do we want to leave them a world filled with plastic and toxins? Or do we want to create a cleaner, more sustainable future for them? It starts with small changes, and every step counts. The important thing is that you don't have to do everything perfectly. Small steps lead to big changes. Today, challenge yourself to do one thing differently. Perhaps switch to reusable bags, or stop using plastic bags. What will your first step be? Become part of the solution. Together, we can create a better future for our children and grandchildren and keep the earth clean. So tell me, what is your next step to create a better world? Hope you like this video. You can leave a comment and a like and tell me your tips for having a better world and for creating a more sustainable world. I'll see you soon in the next video. Talk to you later. Bye bye.